Welcome everybody to the Aussie Suns Fans Pod, Season 2, Episode 22. We did do a recording last night, but as great as that guest was and as fantastic as that show was that we ended up getting on at late notice last night, we've got a bigger show tonight because we have Hamo back, which is huge. Obviously, we've all missed Hamo. Welcome back, brother. How you been?
Good, guys. Thank you very much for filling in. I appreciate it. It's very good to be back and good to have a few new faces with us too.
Absolutely. We've got the return of Ash. Ash, I think this is your third pod now?
Yeah, three. I think I've done 3 or 4 now. Yeah. And enjoy them thoroughly, mate. It's good to be back.
Welcome back, mate. I'm glad you could take some time away from cooking up a massive rubbed steak or whatever it is that you're doing these days. And we have a first-timer on the pod. Trev, thank you for coming in on late notice, mate, and we're bloody excited to have you here, mate. Welcome along.
Oh, I'm bloody excited to be here, boys. I thought the peak of my excitement had reached its climax with the greatest human ever, Cam Johnson, knocking down the big one against the Knicks there the other day, but I think we might have topped it being here right now. So...
Well, we'll definitely have to rehash that one, and we will in the weekly wrap, of course. So you'll get to relive it all again. We'll dive straight into the week wrap. So 3 games this week. First game, Portland, 120 to a 90 win. Cam Johnson, 20 points, 8 and 8 rebounds. Cam Payne, 8 assists. Against the Knicks, of course, the game that Trev just referenced, 115 to 114 win. Before I go into the points, fuck you, Julius Randle. Cameron Johnson, 38 points. Crowder, 7 rebounds. Cam Payne, 16 assists. He was embodying his inner CP3. And then, of course, today, in the end, disappointing to lose, but the effort that the boys put up was sensational. 132-122 loss to the Bucks, who needed a complete and utter chaotic performance by Chris Middleton in order to get over the line. 8 and 30 points, 8 and 8 rebounds, a campaign, 8 assists. How'd you see the week, Hamo?
Look, from what I saw of the week, I thought it wasn't too bad. The Portland game, we will call a pantsing. Portland got pantsed. The Knicks game, I mean, come on, man. That's insane. The Bucks, look, we've lost a couple lately and our rhythm's off, mainly due to injuries. But there's very, very small bumps in the road. Like you said, the effort that our guys put in today against the team that took us the distance last year. I believe we're a better team at full strength this year than what they are. But yeah, no, I think overall it was a good week, man. You can't argue. Bucks were better on the day, but we put in a valiant effort, truly.
That's it. Ash, what's your thoughts on the week? And I know you said you didn't get to catch a hell of a lot of the games, but overall you would have seen box scores and highlights and whatever else.
Yeah, this week I got to watch all 3 games. I have been training drivers at work, so I let them drive and I just put the games up on the dashboard of the truck and put my feet up. It's been good. But the Portland game was a pantsing. It was quite boring. We just got the job done against a G League team, basically. The New York game, that finish was just out of this world. A minute and 30 to go, I was in my head. I'm just like, we're done. We've put in a good effort. And then to turn that around, I thought campaign in the clutch was really good. He scrambled down the floor and was smart enough to know where Cam Johnson was. And it was truly magnificent. It was one of those games my missus was in the bedroom yelling at me saying, shut the hell up, because I was just squealing like a cut pig. It was fantastic. So,
Milwaukee. Same, bro.
Yeah. The Milwaukee game, hard to be upset with our effort. It was sensational. I thought Ayton was really good. He started the game a little bit slow and I was getting a little bit frustrated with him, and he really found his legs, and it was really important. And even just bodying up Giannis, quite a few times, he was really putting an effort into getting a body on him and chesting up to him and trying to be tough. And that's the sort of thing we're going to need against Giannis come finals. Hard to be upset. So, I mean, they run over the top of us. Their class showed up in the end, and it is what it is. I'm happy with the loss.
Was it class or Chris Middleton's ass?
Yeah, a little bit of both. But, I mean, look, let's be honest. when I watched him play in Australia, the Australia-USA games, Middleton, I remember walking away from there going, I was really uninspired by him. I thought Kemba Walker was the one that sort of caught my eye with his speed and flashes of brilliance. And I remember watching Chris Middleton thinking to myself, this guy's nothing special. And then you watch him play, in the NBA, and he's something different. So I think he's a good player, and he's pretty classy.
He really more or less come from obscurity, though, didn't he? Like, he just got dragged up through the G League due to injury and just balled out, man. So he earned his spot. You got to respect that.
And
absolutely.
Look, the big thing with Middleton is he has his games. Like, he'll come out and have a game like he did today. And we saw during the finals, he came out, and I reckon he had 2 or 3 really, really cracking games, and then 2 games where he did fuck all. So that's sort of what Middleton does. So you just sort of cop it. Trev, how do you see the week, mate?
Oh, look, I think it was quite good. I mean, obviously, it was a bit of a blow to start the week to find out about Book going into the protocols, but then I guess that was offset by campaign to come back in for the Portland game. And I think, for a backup to be out 16 games, thrust straight into the starters role and produce what he produced was tremendous. And it just, it's testament to the system. Next guy up mentality. We know what we're running. Look,
cool.
I don't think, the result's anything too excited, but I think those games are always trap games, right? Yeah. It doesn't matter if you won by 50 points. No one's going to get too excited with what you did, but they took care of business. New York, well, what can we say? It was the textbook definition of a steal, really. Those of us that have followed the Suns as long as we have, how many times have we been on the other end of those kind of things? I still remember a game against the Clippers when Blake Griffin bounced one off the top of the backboard and it fell in for 3. Which
do you know the worst thing? I can't believe you mentioned that. I had a Facebook memory pop up about that. It was only like 2 weeks ago, and it was, fuck, I hate Blake Griffin. And I went, it was that shot. So the therapist says I've made good progress from that, but it keeps going. And then look, you look at today, and she's a funny game, basketball, but you would easily say, I reckon today is our best effort since the All-Star break across 48 minutes, and we've come away with a loss. But I mean, you're not walking away from that without any admirers. A little bit disappointing down the end, and I think Middleton had the off arm a couple of times. I think
a couple of fouls out,
18
more free throws than what we did. But look, it's the by and by. I noticed McCall had some tape on the shoulder. I don't know if that, would have knocked Middleton back a couple of points, but sometimes you just tip your hat. Drew Holiday, tremendous shooting. Sometimes you just tip your hat and you say, well done, boys, and on to the next one. So, look, I think as long as we beat Orlando and then, give Miami a shake, we're in pretty good stead coming home. I mean, the Grizz losing to the Rockets today, and the Warriors seem in a bit of free fall at the moment. So,
it's
we're
funny,
going okay.
It's something I posted on the chat yesterday, which absolutely flattened me when I actually read it. The Golden State Warriors are closer to a play-in game than they are to us as the top seed in the West currently right now. That's phenomenal.
Go back 4 years. What the fuck?
And you have a look at that. I think the maths are that basically all we have to do at a minimum is go 500 for the remainder of the year. And the Grizzlies have to win every game they play. And we still finish number 1 seed. And the other thing I read was before today's game, we were 8 games clear of second place in the West. And Miami, who is in top of the East, is 7.5 games in front of 7th. And we're 8 games clear of second. Yeah. That's phenomenal.
Absolutely.
That's crazy stats, man. That's awesome.
Look, I think I agree with you guys. The Portland game wasn't overly inspiring. The whole thing was, I think I agree with you, Trev. Trap games, always nice to get out of there, especially with a 30-point win. I know a few times this year we've had pods and had these trap games and spoke about how easy we were going to win it and then snuck home in the last 5 minutes of games. The Knicks game was probably one of the better games I've watched. It's probably the best game I've seen since the playoff game win against the Clippers with the DA tip in over the pass over the rim. It was just one of those games where no book, no CP3, but we had someone step up and just go fucking ballistic. And that's what Cam Johnson was untouchable. And 9 threes, 9 from 12, can't make the All-Star game, All-Star weekend 3-point competition. Yeah, that makes sense. NBA, idiots. And the Bucks game today, I think there's more positives to take from the Bucks game today than there is negatives. So whenever you look at a loss, if you look at a loss and you've got more positives to take than negatives, it's not that bad a loss. So overall, pretty good result for the week for us. We'll move into, and this is where I apologise to both Ash and Trev, because this is where effectively you're going to start getting slammed with shit you had no idea was coming.
This is the way we like it.
Unless you watch the pod every week. MVP of the week. Hamo, who's your MVP this week over those 3 games?
MVP of the week. Let me see. I'm going to go with Cam. I found my zone. Motherfucking Johnson.
I think a lot of people would go that way. I'm not, but a lot of people will go that way, which is an absolute fair call. He had a great week. The only reason I'm not going with Cam Johnson is he didn't play today. Ash, who's your MVP this week?
I think I'm the same as you, Gav. I'm huge ups for Cam Johnson and what he's done the first 2 games, especially that record equaling Suns 9 3-pointers in one game. I'm going to go with Campaign. I just think that Knicks game, I believe Campaign is ridiculously crucial to us. I think he's a little bit of shot selection and needs to learn when to not drive instead of dish. He's that away from being a really good point guard. And I think that 16 assists against New York, that put me over the edge for Cam. I think he was definitely deserving this week.
Cool.
Good call. Trev?
Yeah, I think I'd have to go with the same, just purely virtue of Cam Johnson missing today. For him to come in after 16 games off and look like he hasn't skipped a beat. And for me, it looks like he's just slowed down a step too. Like Campaign's always come in and been helter-skelter, Energizer Bunny, and sometimes it's got him a bit of bother. But the turnover numbers have stacked up really well. Like particularly today, I was surprised, looked at the box score and I think it was 3 turnovers, where I thought, geez, it looked like at times he had a little bit more. So I guess, look, my only knock on him coming back is sometimes he likes to have a bit of a yap to the refs instead of getting back the other way. But look, if that's the worst thing that's happening, his passion it's infectious amongst the group. So yeah, he was a bit of a worry.
I don't deny that at all.
Missing that time, how's he going to reacclimate himself? But it's probably been a great thing with CP being out. He's just kind of been handed the keys, and here we go. And it's been bloody impressive, I have to say.
Do you reckon that slowing down is a CP3 effect?
I think so. I think they made mention of it. I think it might have been during the Knicks game. I think Mark Jones and Richard Jefferson were talking about it. You don't have to be 100% all the time. You just shift your gears up and down a little bit. And I think it's just reading the game as well. So I think when he came in off the bench, he's probably looking to get his shots up a bit more, where now he's looking to initiate the offense and, pick those seams when they have it. If not, find your guys and go with that. But
I think that's important. I think coming back in with Chris Paul being out has allowed Cameron Payne to play additional minutes and really just find his feet quicker, which has been a real positive. But he is not my vote for this week. Look, my vote doesn't matter now, like Camo's, because we've got 2 versus 1 and 1. But my vote for this week is actually Jay Crowder. Jay was sensational this week. He hit the scoreboard. He was great on the boards. Defensively, he was sensational. And from a leadership perspective, he was absolutely huge with our 2 best leaders out of the team. So for me, I just think Jay Crowder was absolutely phenomenal this week and deserves as Lindsay on the PHNX Sons podcast would say, he deserves his flowers this week. He was brilliant.
That's a good call.
But we've got 2 votes for Campaign, so Campaign is our MVP of the week. Defensive Player of the Week, Hamo, who you got?
Defensive Player of the Week for this week, I went with Bossman 99. Just from the bits that I saw, I didn't get to see any of today's game at all. It was honestly just completely miffed on what time it was on. I knew we were playing, just didn't know the time. But yeah, no, I think from what I've seen, he was pretty much everywhere most of the time, put up some decent numbers. But, me, I always like to go with heart, and just seemed like he was out there taking care of business,
Good call. Ash?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a tough week to pick this one, I think, Gav. I think I agree with Hamo. And touching on, what you said for MVP of the week, his leadership this week has been monumental and has been a big reason why we've done so well. So yeah, I'm by the same reasons that you and Hamo, I think I'm going to agree with you guys and go with Bossman 99.
Love it. Trev?
Yeah, put it in all uppercase, boys. The Bossman 99 would get my tick as well, I think. So he's just, he's the quarterback of the defense, superb communicator. And it's also interesting to see, the uptick in his shooting and so forth. And he's actually playing a few more minutes as well, which is not surprising with who we've got out. Seems to be handling them really well, which is good because he's played a lot of basketball, as we all know, over the last couple of seasons. So that's really encouraging to see because, he's going to be a huge cog in the playoffs. Absolutely.
Well,
we all love playoff Jay.
I thought I was going to be out on Gav Island here by myself, but thank fuck I wasn't, because everybody jumped on board. I had Jay Crowder as well. Defensively, he was the catalyst for what we did this week. The Portland game, nobody gave a fuck, so who cares? The Knicks game, he came up with a couple of really big plays, and one of the biggest ones for me was after Cam Johnson got smashed by Julius Randle in what was the worst no call for an offensive foul I've ever seen in my life. Jay Crowder came in and smashed Julius Randle on the next 2 plays. And I just went, that's a guy that's come in and showing the young guys leadership. It's what he's done the whole time. Today, Bobby Portis decided to mouth off because they were full strength and off the back of Chris Middleton shooting fucking overhead hook shots from 3. Luckily got a win, but Bobby Portis wanted to mouth off to him, and Jay got in his face, didn't back down. So Jay was sensational this week on the defensive end and absolutely deserves it. So congrats, Jay, Defensive Player of the Week. This award, this is not a nomination award. This is an individual award. Now, hopefully you guys have seen the pods over the last couple of weeks. We created a new award called the Encouragement Award. Now, this award, you can give this to anybody for any reason you like. Boyd thinks he's the only adult in the room because he tries to give away serious encouragement awards. I tend to try and find something funny and give the encouragement award for that. But as I said, both work. Whatever it is that you want to do from an encouragement award perspective, go for it. So, Hamo, you're up first. Who's your encouragement award for the week?
You may want to put your kids away for a minute. Anyone who's listening, just turn it down for little children ears, possibly.
He's gone.
I'm talking about our viewers too, mate.
Do I have to tick the box?
No, I might not go that far, but we'll see. It's just see how much of the juice flows. I want to give the encouragement award to one of my good friends, Julius Randle. Like, you go, girl. It doesn't matter how bad you are PMSing, you are out there trying to ball, sand in the vagina, the whole deal, man. You're still out there. And what ended up happening? You sucked and you lost. But good for you. Keep striving.
Well done. Lovely encouragement award there. I'm all with you there, Hamo. Ash, who's your encouragement award this week?
I'm going to follow in Boyd's footsteps, and I'm going to be Mr. Serious here. So sorry, Hamo, but my encouragement award,
thumbs down.
my encouragement award is is for Hamo and Big Jared, the legends of the Suns group, absolute gentlemen, who I believe are going to be walking this weekend 40 kilometres for a really good cause, one that's close to my heart personally. So I'll be jumping on and donating some money by the end of the week. And I'm going to absolute encouragement for you two boys, and well done, boys. And sure, Hamo, you'll be able to give us some finer details to share it out to everybody.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Thank you very much, man. It's very, very special. I appreciate that. Me and Jared.
Hamo, we might keep this to the end.
That sounds like a good idea.
Send off.
Great idea.
I want people to remember exactly what this is about and what the purpose is. And generally, if we do it now and they watch the rest of the pod, they'll forget. So on our end off, when we wrap it up, give out the details then.
Will do. Thank you, Ash. Appreciate it, brother.
Trev, who's your encouragement award?
Well said, Ash. Look, I'm going to give it to, well, it's kind of a two-parter. It's Cam Johnson dropping F-bombs after making that game winner the other day. I don't think we've ever seen that kind of emotion from the world's greatest human ever. You know, he's just Mr. Joe Cool and, you know, look, I made a lovely shot. Thank you, sir, kind of stuff. But to see that raw emotion and him, you know, clearly yelling that was game. And then for CP3 to quickly come in and say,
you stole it. All down your face. You stole mine.
Just quick, just tidy that up there, big fella, because you're going to be all over TV. You know, that's the team. That's the teammates that we've got down there in the valley. So I think that's superb stuff from everyone all around. So, yeah, I watched all of that. You know, Cam's winning shot. I watched it 3 times. Watched it on the ESPN replay, the Suns replay, and then the Knicks replay. Now, disappointing not to have Mike Breen give it the old bang because he was doing the Knicks replay, but
he was still pretty positive about it all, though. Mike Breen, he's a very good commentator, Mike Breen.
He's a stud. So yeah, it was good viewing, boys.
Well, no, thanks for stealing mine. Mine was CP3. The old father figure comes out. Cam, you're going to be all over the cameras and interviews and everything else after this, mate. You got froth coming out of your mouth. Clean that shit up. CP3, always the father figure. Well done, Chris. Great job. That's my encouragement award of the week.
Looks like he had the granddad's cardigan on too. I thought he might have just pulled out the tissue and just given it a bit of a dab or something. He did
have the granddad's cardigan, but I loved that he had sequins on it. Well done, dude.
Outstanding.
All right, the week ahead. 4 games this week. Exciting. Pretty pleased about that for the week ahead. We have Orlando Wednesday at 11 a.m., Miami Thursday at 11:30 and a back-to-back. Saturday against Toronto at 1 o'clock at home. And then Monday against the scum, the wankers, the tool bags, the fucking Lakers at 12 p.m. How do you see this week going ahead? Let's start with you, Ash. How's this week going to go? Are you going to go full Boyd on this?
I am going full Boyd. Give me a reason. Give me a reason why we can't win all 4. I don't think there's a reason we can't. Miami's the only one that I think is that's going to give us a real good run for their money.
I'll give you 2 reasons in a minute.
We are. The talk is we're getting Booker back for that game. Is that correct? No, he's not back for that game.
I don't think Booker will be back until after the road trip.
Okay. All right. Well, so he'll be back for the Lakers then. Toronto. Okay. Miami is the only one that makes me nervous. I think they always match up well against us. It's never an easy game against Miami. Toronto, they gave us a good run for our money last time. Just their length and their rebounding really frustrates us. So that'll be a tough game as well, but I still think we'll come away with a W. And the Lakers is just going to be a blowout, and we're just going to pull their pants down, and we're all going to have a party afterwards.
Trev, how do you see the week?
Yeah, look, it's a tricky one. You know, I think after the trap is always after making a great effort, not coming away with the W, and then going to Orlando, even though shorthanded, you know, you can drop your guard. I'd pretty much prefer they were probably the other way around. We were playing the Heat first and then Orlando, but, you know, you can control what you can control. Look, Miami will be a good game. I kind of circled it on the calendar after they gave us a bit of a fix last time, but I think probably, you know, last time we played them, Butler was out, and I think kind of changed them up a bit. They just ran in that 3 ball, where I think with Bam also back, I think that's probably going to change things up a little bit. So look, it'd be great to get a W there, but it's as long as we don't get our heads kicked in by 30 or something like that, I'm not going to sweat it too much. And then, get booked back for the Toronto game. And look, I'm sure rebounding is something that we'll touch on in a little bit, but they absolutely murdered us on the O boards last time we played them. Really lucky to get away with it. Big Boucher, he was a handful on those boards. So look, hopefully they've, ticked this one down as a bit of a revenge game and can make some strides in that area, because it is an area that's becoming a little bit problematic in certain games, I think.
Hey, mate, how do you see the week, mate?
I think the game against Orlando is going to be beautiful. I'm going to win at least $60 on my multi. I haven't decided what I'm doing, but that's the benchmark. Look, Miami, they're a tough side. They're coming at us at full strength. That's going to be tough. Like Trev was saying, man, Butler's a handful. He doesn't matter who he's playing for. He's always a handful. It's going to be a tough game. I think we're going to edge it out, though, and get the win. Toronto, once again, another tough side. I reckon we get the win because of the home crowd, but I reckon we're going to be put up to a task against the Raptors, because they're another tough side as well defensively. With Pascal and whoever else playing for him today. But I reckon we're gonna get 3 wins out of there. Lakers, are they still in? Do they still count?
Well, they beat the Warriors.
Anthony Davis is wearing sunglasses inside.
LeBron has to wear
the Southern Lower Bayou, Kentucky Lakers. Surely not the.
LeBron had to
the
score,
Warriors.
LeBron had to score 57, 58 points, but they did beat the Warriors.
Well, that's nice for them. I was actually talking to a Lakers mate of mine today. I said, "You're keen to watch the next game against each other?" He said, "No, I don't watch Lakers games anymore."
Typical Lakers fan, yeah.
Yeah. But no, I reckon we'll be all right, man. I reckon we'll get 4 up. If we do lose one, I've got a feeling it may be the Toronto game, unfortunately.
I'm 3-1 this week. I think we drop Miami, and Ash said, give us a reason. I got 2 for you. Devin Booker and Chris Paul. Miami are the only side in the NBA that is coached as well as we are. Spo is a sensational coach. Miami are a really, really solid side. If Book and CP3 were playing, I think we beat them as a little bit of revenge to what happened out in Phoenix. I don't think they flog us, though. I just think that at home, they will get that little bit of extra oomph and just get over the line. The rest of the games, Orlando, I feel, will be one of those games that doesn't inspire a hell of a lot of us. I think it'll get down. We'll be a couple of points up with 5 minutes to go, and then we'll go on a 18-4 run and win it by 20. Toronto, I do agree with Trev. The one thing that Toronto do very, very well is hit the boards. And what we've dished up in the last week, if we dish that up against Toronto and give them second, third opportunities, we'll struggle. And we just belt the fuck out of the Lakers now. So I'm not real concerned about that in the slightest. I think we'll beat the Lakers and beat them comfortably. Lubitsch will complain for most of the game. Jay Crowder will, and Mikal Bridges will make him look like a git. And they really have nothing else. So I don't think we have to worry too much about that. So 3-1 for me this week. Sorry, Boyd. I'm not going to go full Boyd on it. I think we'll drop at least 1. Now we will head into everybody's favourite segment. And, of course, with potential... Have you done a thumbs up, thumbs down before, Ash?
No, I haven't, no.
No, I didn't think you had. 2 new faces for thumbs up, thumbs down.
First thumbing, mate. Ooh,
now, I know you guys have watched the pod before, so you know what the rules are. We read the question, you give a thumbs up, thumbs down. We don't need to go into any further discussion. If the question is... tricky or has too many multiples or anything else in there, you can bring that up when we rebut at the end. But it is a straight thumbs up, thumbs down, off the top of your head, bang, we move, all that sort of stuff. Does anybody have a piece of paper and a pen in front of them? And by that, I'm saying Hamo.
Got me thing here.
All right, I'll read them, you record them. Okay. Question 1. Another team will offer DeAndre Ayton the max in the offseason and the Suns will match it. Ash. You have to say it, guys, because
yeah, correct. Yeah, there's some people listening on streaming apps. Yeah, it's thumbs up for me, mate.
Thumbs up, Trev.
Thumbs up for me.
Hey, mate.
I'm up.
I am also up. The Phoenix Suns free throw discrepancy against opposition sides is now getting fucking frustrating. Ash.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, I think we're all agreeing on that one. That's thumbs up 4 ways.
Trevor.
Absolutely. It's, it's tinfoil hat stuff at the moment. They're out to get us kind of thing. You know,
whoa. It's thumbs up or thumbs down. We rebut later.
Up and down.
Hey, mate.
I'm a thumbs up, mate.
I am also a thumbs up.
This is shit.
Cameron, I knew these questions would have to have discussion afterwards, and we can still go in whether we're all thumbs up or not. We can still go in and discuss it. This question's for Boyd. Cameron Johnson should be in the starting lineup in front of Jay Crowder. Ash.
Thumbs down.
Trevor.
Big thumbs down.
Hamo.
Thumbs down.
And I am also thumbs down, so we're a dick, Boyd. A rehash on a previous question on giving up rebounds. Our lack of rebounding, because we've got 2 new faces, our lack of rebounding is going to cause issues for us come playoffs. Ash.
Thumbs up.
Trev.
Thumbs up.
Hamo.
Thumbs up.
You are a bitch, Hamo, because you went thumbs down when we asked this question last time, and you have
Thumbs have changed, man.
Jesus
Roll on.
Christ. Thumbs up
He's
for
reviewed
me
the box
too.
scores.
And our last question, another rehash, just for the. Well, this one's actually for Nate and Boyd probably, and Hamo, who all absolutely fucking buried me last time I asked this question, and I'm going to ask it again. Cameron Johnson is the best 3-point shooter the Suns have ever had. Ash.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
Trev.
Thumbs up. He's better than Aaron Baines.
just.
Hamo.
No fucking way. Thumbs down.
And unlike Hamo, I'm going to stick to my original decision and go thumbs up. All right, let's roll it back. And we've all got the same answers for all of them except for one, but we can talk about it, and I'm sure we'll all have different opinions of why we answered the way we answered, except for maybe one. Someone will offer another team will offer DeAndre Ayton the max in the offseason, and the Suns will match it. We all went thumbs up. Let's start with you, Trev. What's your comment on that statement? Why did you go thumbs up?
I think pretty much when it wasn't offered to him at the start of this season, the path forward seemed pretty clear. They were going to let the market kind of dictate his price and see how it goes. I mean, I guess the other side of that is the teams that can potentially offer him the max, aren't going to be worth going to, I wouldn't have thought. And I'm certainly encouraged, by the way, like he hasn't been pouty at all. I mean, I know some people on Twitter will complain about his efforts and things like that, but I haven't seen him sulking. He seems as engaged as ever.
Podcast too.
He seems as engaged as ever, so I think they'll have no hesitation in matching.
All right. One question off the back of that: is he worth the max?
Great question. Not too many fives unless you're a Jokic or an Embiid. Kind of get the max these days, right?
Or a Michael Porter Jr. or a.
I mean, well, if Mick Porter Jr. is getting that, what's Cam Johnson going to get? Goodness gracious.
That's right.
Look, I'd probably say he's not worth the max.
Okay. Ash, why did you give thumbs up to this question? You think somebody else will offer him the max and we will match it?
I think more than one team is going to offer him the max. There's going to be teams lining up for him. We will give it to him. Is he worth the max? I'm going to agree with Trev and say not yet. I think he can be worth the max maybe in a year or two. And it's, obviously, I would say it's an educated guess that we're going to take, and we'll pony up.
Very good. Hamo?
Look, a couple of reasons I went yes, thumbs up with this one. Look, once again, the way he's playing at the moment, is he worth it? Probably not. If he gets offered a couple of teams, which seems feasible, things like once again, not knowing stats, just your lower markets, demographic kind of teams like your Detroits, your, Charlotte, I don't know, whoever. I don't think he wants to play for him, man. He's always wanted to play for Arizona. I really hope that's still the case. And when you look at what's happened in his 3 or 4 years in the league where he's gotten to with that team, I think if he gets a choice, his heart is going to make him want to stay in Phoenix. And I really hope that's the case. And that's the only reason I went thumbs up.
I don't think it'll matter either way. If somebody offers DA the max, which I think Detroit will, I think they'll be the only side that can. I don't think anybody else will be in a position to offer him a max. I think Detroit will be the only side that can. They will, and Phoenix will match without hesitation.
That's a huge difference in culture between Arizona and Detroit, man. That's like living on the Gold Coast or living in.
Well, the whole thing is he's not. He's unrestricted. He's a restricted free agent, so he won't have a choice. If Detroit offers the max and the Suns match it, he stays in Arizona. Realistically, that's all he wants. He just wants. He wanted Phoenix to show him love. They didn't show him enough love. That was based on what the agent wanted to do. They wanted to make, and that was complicated by the MPJ contract, because when MPJ signed a max extension, DA's agent went, well, if he's getting one, surely you're going to give DeAndre Ayton one. From what I can gather, and I should have asked this last night, but I believe the only thing was that the Suns were happy to pay the max. It was just the amount of years. So the Suns wanted to pay 4, DA wanted 5. So I think end of the day, with the thumbs up, thumbs down question, yes, Detroit will offer him the max. Phoenix will match it. He'll stay at the Suns. And he'll be more than happy to. I don't think DA wants to go anywhere. All you have to do is look at the behaviours of the pre-match, the after-match, and the relationship that these guys have all built with each other.
There's some dogs.
They don't want to go anywhere.
Dogs.
Some dogs.
All right, this one's pretty straightforward. I don't think we have to spend too much time on it. The Phoenix Suns free throw discrepancy is now getting fucking frustrating. Trev?
Well, I can remember, when the Suns were struggling and you'd have the disparity, and you're always told, the refs will understand your identity, that you're a good defensive team and you'll be able to get away with more. And I think we're a good defensive team now. I think the stats kind of back that up, and I'm still not seeing it. I'm seeing guys just torpedo themselves into set defenders, have 2 free throws. We do it, we're going the other way. Look, you try not to get too hung up on it, and I'm not one of those guys that thinks the numbers have to be exactly equal, but gee,
it'll cost you a playoff game. That shit will cost you a playoff game.
You're exactly right. It doesn't matter what sport you're in, right? It costs livelihoods. It can cost coaching jobs, assistant coaching jobs. Guys in last year's of the contract, we haven't made the finals. We're going in a new direction. You're dead right. The results are, it's a huge domino effect. So, yeah, it bloody is frustrating. And particularly watching Giannis, I think I read War and Peace 2 times over, watching him shoot 2 free throws today. It takes forever. So let's just move it on.
And although I will say, for the first time in a long time, I saw Giannis get called for an offensive foul today. That was exciting. Ash,
Like nearly popped out of his head.
Pretty simple, this one. There's a much greater basketball mind than the four of us, which is hard to believe, I know.
no, that's
He goes,
I know who you're talking to, bro.
he goes
the
by
wrong
the
chat
name
room.
of, he goes by the name of Monty Williams. For him to come out in the media, this is one of the most softly spoken blokes that's in the history of mankind. For him to come out and actually formally complain, you know, there's a genuine disparity there, and it's becoming an issue. And like Gav said, if it costs us a playoff game, all the conspiracy theorists will be back out again. It'll be Spurs 2.0.
hey, mate.
Look, I just think of it this way. Imagine if James Harden or Chris Paul couldn't shoot free throws, then what's the fucking point? The amount of fouls that they draw every game. You know what I mean? If we're going to get the fouls, and some of us are working towards getting the fouls, we need to be able to hit the shots. It's wasted effort. It's treading water. You know what I mean? It's frustrating, and we've got to work on it, man.
Yeah, I think we're reading this question a little bit differently. The thing for me today is we lost by 10. Milwaukee had 29 foul shots. We had 11. If we're not...
How many did we make?
10. But if we're not getting the calls, sorry, we hit 8 today. So, but if we're not getting the calls, we're not getting those opportunities. And everyone kept talking about Devin Booker the last couple of years. He doesn't get to the foul line enough, blah, 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 blah. But when he is an all-star and when he's considered at that level, he'll start getting those calls. He's still not getting those calls. Whether he's played this week or not, he's still not getting those calls. Every single game, we are the opposition side is getting double the amount of free throws that we are. And it's got to be frustrating for Monty. It's got to be frustrating for the team. And like I said, 29 free throws to 11 today means that Milwaukee were given 18 free points today, more than what we were from the referees. That is, we all watched the game except Hamo, I think, but
Correct.
There was no difference between the defensive pressure and contact at either end of the court today. I think DeAndre Ayton had his first foul shot with 3.5 minutes to go in the last quarter. And the guy scored
Giannis
30.
fouled out. Yeah.
The guy scored 30. And he had his first foul shots with 3.5 minutes to go in the last quarter. Come on. He's a center attacking the basket who's had 30 points. It's not like everything he shot today was mid-range. There was contact and there was contact everywhere.
Other than CP3, we really don't get called for a lot. Like, sorry,
well,
we don't get a
CP3,
lot of calls, you know what I mean?
CP3, the only reason we see that is because he does the rip through.
And they'll change that law in the next season or two, just like they did to Harden. Just to fuck with him.
Let's have a look. A perfect example was Philadelphia in James Harden's first game, I think it was.
You beat Ben Simmons' record for 3-pointers, mate.
Yeah, no. between Harden and Embiid, they had 57 fucking foul shots.
Yeah, that's a joke, man.
And we can't get 10 a game.
You reckon that has something to do with Booker, Crowder, CP3, campaign? They love getting chirpy with the refs. Do you reckon the refs talk to each other?
Embiid likes to chirp, so does Harden, but
I think it absolutely plays a role. Yeah.
Booker's crazy for it.
I think the other thing is that we don't throw our hands in the air and roll 7 times across the floor and yell out, "Oh, fucking oh," and throw our arms in the air.
They still hate us from when Barkley used to tear him up.
Our players play the game. They get fouled. And that's one of the things we keep talking about with Book is he'll drive to the hole. He'll get fouled. He'll miss the shot. He'll turn to the ref. He'll complain. He'll get teed up, or he'll go down the other end and just smash someone in order to get a foul, to stop the play so he can complain. Well, honestly, and I hate to say this because I don't want to see our players.
Just got to grow up a little bit.
No, I don't want to see our players doing it, but these other guys do complain and go, what about the contact? And then all of a sudden they're getting every call. Our players might have to start doing that shit.
I'm still waiting for Steve Nash, who won the MVP two times, to get calls.
Yeah.
The only superstar that never got superstar calls. It felt like, so.
And we're seeing
broken face. Yeah.
We're seeing that with Devin Booker now. He's a superstar who doesn't get the superstar calls, and Giannis gets it all day, every day.
It's not like dirty tactics or anything, though. It's the rules, and we're just sticking up for the same thing that all the other people for. People are standing up for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like
we don't need to win to
win.
No, we don't. But we need to be getting the calls that these other playoff teams are getting in order for us to be competitive. Today's game, 29 foul shots to 11, means with a 10-point loss, and that 10-point loss came because of a Chris Middleton turnaround fucking heave jump shot and then three-pointer, which blew it out to 10. It was only 5 points before that. But reality is that if you look at that 5 points, their 18 more foul shots gave them an unfair advantage today based on the calls that the referees were making.
Yeah. But Giannis is protected.
Let's move on. Next question. Cam Johnson should be starting in front of Jay. I only put this in here to basically give Boyd the big fuck you. We all went thumbs down. Anyone want to make a comment, or can we skip through this one?
Look, I'll just quickly say I think it showed when he went back to the bench, because the bench was sucking without him. There was no scoring punch at all once he moved into the starting lineup. So I was glad to see him move back. And hello, Vicar, 38 big ones against the Knicks. I think case closed.
Yep.
Have him there to close the game? Sure. I don't get too perturbed about my starters. It's all about who's there closing. So
yeah, and I said that in the pod last night. Whether you start on the court or not doesn't matter. None of that shit matters. It's the amount of minutes you play on the court and the output you have while you're on there. It doesn't matter whether you're out there for the start.
Talking about, excuse me, you're talking about a lot of Suns history compared to a couple little years of Cam Johnson. Like, he's a Tar Heel, man. I love my North Carolina Tar Heels, but I don't want to be putting him up there as the greatest Sun shooter of all time.
We're not up to that question, man.
Yeah, we haven't got there yet. Stop moving ahead.
Oh, well, never mind.
How about when a bit early again?
Better to be early than late, mate. That's all right.
At least he arrived.
Unless you're in bed.
That's what I was
a rehash on the rebounds. Our lack of rebounds going to cause issues come playoffs. We all went thumbs up. Hamo, you were previously a thumbs down to this, but you've come around to my way of thinking. Trev, what's your thoughts on this? I mean, this last 2 week stretch in particular has probably really highlighted this because we've lost 3 games in this week, which is basically our entire fucking year's losses pre these 2 weeks.
Yeah, look, I had some issues and, was worried kind of earlier in the season. A big game for me is thinking back to the Warriors game on Christmas Day. They cleaned us up on the boards, and by comparison, they're a pretty small lineup against some of the other front lines that we face. And look, you wouldn't have to be Stevie Wonder to read your Twitter and see, DA is kind of the main culprit here. Does he need to improve? Absolutely, he does. There's some flaws there in the technique. But if we look at the game against the Knicks there on Saturday, a lot of times the perimeter guy was getting beat. He come over to contest the shot, and there was no help from the weak side. I mean, that's not on him. You've got to roll as one. Crowder has to hit. McHale has to hit. Even looking at today, I think Busy and JaVale played 20 minutes combined for 4 boards between them. It's got to be better than that. So, it's not dire straits, but it is something that's going to have to be addressed because, you're not going to be on your game every game in the playoffs. You're going to get worn down and you're going to have to come up with those loose balls. So, yeah, it is something that needs to be done. So I was probably, wanted to see them address it at the trade line. They did so with Torrey Craig coming back, but he's probably just been a little underwhelming in that department. So I'm confident he can pick it up there. We've got the guys to do it. I think it's as much as effort. And, I don't think they're thinking, we'll just flick the switch and start doing it. But I'm confident they can turn it around.
Well, when I bought this one up a couple of weeks ago, I think we came out the following night, and I copped a bit of shit from Boyd for it. We got smashed on the boards again. I bought it up in a pod. The following day, we played a game, and Jay Crowder came out and had 14 rebounds because he started crashing the boards.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge I think we have right now is opposition sides are now, and I brought this up on the pod last week, opposition sides are now forcing DeAndre Ayton to spread. So not only, and you spoke about yesterday's game where he actually had to switch on to players because our guards allowed far too easy penetration, which took him away from the boards, and Mitch Robertson was able to get in there and jump over the top of Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder. He was just too big for them. But opposition sides are also forcing him to spread on a switch. So they're running a screen and roll and making DeAndre Ayton play at the three-point line, which is stopping him from hitting the boards. That's a concern that we need to address, particularly if we're going to play Jay, Cam, Mikal Bridges at the 4, because the opposition centers are hitting the boards and getting us. Now, late in the game today, Giannis had 2 offensive rebounds. Both of those were just shot bounce because Ayton had him boxed, but the ball bounced over his head. There's nothing you can do about that. Now, they're not the ones I'm worried about. The ones I'm worried about is the fact that if DA isn't in that key, isn't rebounding, isn't in a position to do that, or he has to switch on to a penetrating guard because our guards haven't stopped that penetration, we are seriously exposed. And come playoffs, against a Jokic, against a Giannis, against a, don't worry about Anthony Davis, he'll be in street clothes.
Gobert.
These guys, they're going to pick us
It'll
apart.
start a new virus.
If opposition side keep dragging DeAndre Ayton out to the perimeter, or if opposition guards keep penetrating and DeAndre Ayton has to switch. It's the one thing now that I think opposition sides have worked out. And Monty has to address it, and has to address it in the next few weeks.
So just quickly on that, though, not to get too far off topic, but I always talk about it in the chat. For those who aren't in it, our Aussie Suns fans chat, let us know on the Facebook page, and we'll get you added. Really, really funny stuff goes down. I'm all about my twin towers scenario. Like, why not at the moment? Obviously, with having Saric and Kaminsky out, will we be open to possibly starting Busy as a power forward kind of thing and having Ayton, twin towers up the front?
I think from a starting or a key lineup perspective, it won't work. And I think we saw that today.
At the moment, because we don't have the backup.
But not only that, we saw it today with they tried the Busy and Ayton combo like a couple of times, and JaVale didn't play a hell of a lot today, but they did have that crossover between Busy and Ayton, both on the floor at the same time. The problem with that is that Busy in particular isn't very good at covering that spread. So even if we keep that back, and today the Bucks exposed it, to their credit. When we had that lineup on the floor, they spread the floor really, really well. It dragged Busy out and it gave them open outside shots. Because his job and his instruction is to hit the boards as hard as he can. So I'm not big on Busy playing the 4. I am big on actually upping our rotation of the centers and playing all 3 of those guys.
Yeah, cool.
Rotation.
Definitely. Please continue.
Ash.
I agree with everything you said right at the end there, Gav. I think Monty needs to get better with the rotations, with the bigs. I think that is the biggest reason that we paid Busy for the rest of the year. We've got a couple of bigger bodies to throw at Giannis and those likes. And I absolutely agree with everything you said too, Trev. I think it would have been a really good idea to add a genuine 4 at the deadline. I think we really, really lack a genuine 4. We've got some guys that, play with heart. We've got our Bridges, Crowder and those types, but they don't have the height and the body length and the size that a real genuine 4 has, and we really lack. So we're going to have to compensate with like you say, Gav, better rotations. We need to throw some bigger bodies and just throw more and just keep throwing different things at them and see where that takes us. So yes,
so
that's going to be a
not
problem,
dead.
but we can fix it, I think.
That's not dead either, though, Ash, because we still have the buyout market,
Yeah,
which is still live, right?
Yeah.
Thad Young, I still think will get bought out by the Spurs.
I thought he was the answer a few
Raptors.
months. I thought he was the answer a few months ago. I'm starting to think he's not now. I don't know.
Well, he's at the Raptors now. He was part of the Dragic trade.
The Dragon trade,
I don't know whether he'll get bought out or not, but there is options on the buyout market, or potentially options on the buyout market that we can look at as an additional 4. The problem is the way that Monty has set up the structure and everything else that we've done. A lumpy 4 like Aaron Gordon, perfect example, probably just wouldn't fit in the actual structure that we play.
I feel like a long athletic 4 would be much more suited to what we need.
Problem is,
it's. I mean, I can recall a time last year Monty slid Frank into the starting lineup against those bigger front lines, right?
Yep.
And he was absolutely playing out of his mind before his knee went down. And I noticed
2 weeks, Frank's back.
Yeah, well, I've noticed he's back on court. So he's kind of the X factor. And he's aside from being, a bigger body, he's a great connector. He's a great, really underrated passer. Like the connection him and McCall have, really underrated. Yeah. So he could be a bit of an X factor, as we close in on the business end, hopefully.
Do you know who'd be perfect though at the stretch 4 right now? Dario Saric. He would
stick that big backside out.
Perfect 4 right now. He could stretch the floor. He fits the system. He would absolutely be perfect as a second, third string 4 right now.
Definitely.
For the side and the way we're set up. I'm not sure whether Frank could do it, but geez, it'd be nice if he could, because we all do love some Frank the Tank.
Yeah.
Last question. Cameron Johnson is the best 3-point shooter the Suns have ever had. Hamo, you were the only thumbs down. What do you got for us?
I kind of capped it off a little bit early. Sorry, guys. I had that highlighted underneath the previous question. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, look, he's a great shooter, no doubt. But he's only, 3 years in the league? 4 years?
Yeah, and?
No, you can't, have that history against the whole 53, 54 years of...
All right, so who's better?
Dan Marley, for starters.
How many times do you hit 9 threes in a game?
Oh, geez, what do you want me to get Wikipedia out?
Oh, well, you can get Wikipedia out. You won't find anything.
He did better in the 3-point contest, put it that way.
Well, only because Cam didn't get invited.
Still did better.
Yeah, did Dan Marley go in a 3-point contest?
I'm pretty sure he was in one. He taught that kid how to do a 3-pointer, and that kid missed it. But no, look, I just think it's too early in Cam's career. I think he's a great shooter. And, hopefully by the end of his tenure, he will be one of the best, if not the best, 3-point shooter that the Suns have had. But as of right now, I don't want to give him the title, and I think it's a little bit too much pressure because I know he listens to the pod, and I don't want him to feel that way, man. I don't want to put that pressure on him. Between him and Kevin Durant's #1 burner account, we are flying on the ratings right
now. Now, Dan Marley was a solid 3-point shooter, but he actually wasn't that good.
Look, we're not ready to make the decision just yet.
No, I am. Ash?
I'm sold. Give me Cam. Give me Cam. He's, the start of the year, he was in a little bit of a slump, but the way he's come home, he is the best pure shooter I've seen in a Suns uniform. He's just, everything about his catch and shoot is just, name somebody better in the league that's better at the catch and shoot than he is. Not many.
Well, certainly not fucking Landry Shamet.
No, well, today he was okay. Let's give him some props for today. He was good today. But I think pure shooting. I don't think we've seen a better pure shooter in a Suns uniform.
Devin Booker's a better pure shooter than Cameron Johnson. But, Devon is the most pure shooter with a foot on the line.
Put on the line, yeah.
Cam outside the 3-point line. There's no one.
That was a long shot that Cam hit, man. You can't deny that.
That was
And
unbelievable.
Take it to the bank.
Look, and just to be mindful of the time as well, because when Campaign passed the ball to Cam Johnson, I was just like, what the fuck are you doing, man? There's no time left. And I'm glad I was wrong.
He knew what he was doing.
Trev?
Look, I'm all for, trying not to get sucked into recency bias, but, and it's always hard comparing. Like the 3-ball, it's far more common these days. It'd be high, like back in Thunder Dan's day, you'd be sitting down on the couch next to the coach if you're taking 12 attempts, like how Cam was the other day. But I mean, he's hit 9, right? So, but he's 6'9". It's just, it just looks great, doesn't it? It's so aesthetic to the eye. It just looks great when he shoots it. What I also like, though, that's not just him. Sure, the first couple of years, he was just a 3 guy. Now he can take it off the dribble. And some of these fancy contested behind the back layup stuff that he's whipping out now as well.
And the Cam Slam.
The posters.
It's awesome to see. So, yeah, look, I always am reluctant to compare eras, but gee whiz, he's definitely in the conversation if he's not the man. So, but he's knocked one in against the Knicks, so that gives him the nod. And he's following Thunder Dan's move into the hospitality ranks with his lemonade stand. So there's obviously something in there with the 3 boys. So.
Yes, he is. And did you see the at Suns Arena they opened Cam's lemonade stand?
Yeah.
And they're
I'm
charging
waiting for him to branch out into spreads, man. I want to see Cam's jam.
They're trying to sell lemonades for $9 and fucking alcoholic.
How much vodka's in
it? Like, talk about jumping on the fucking bandwagon, Suns. Jesus
We'll
Christ.
have to ask Gavin in a few weeks how good they are.
Yeah, well, not too much longer, and that'll lead us straight into the next one, which is the Suns trip. So, guys, anybody who's keen, I'm going to put a post up this week. I know I've said it for the last couple of weeks, and I've been rather busy and lazy. I will get a post up this week. Put your comments in. We're going to start a group of guys that are interested in going over. I've been informed by Nate that my dream of going for the entire final series is unrealistic. So we're now looking at probably 2 weeks of a trip over to Arizona during the finals. And the thought is the back end of the NBA finals. So if you're interested, hit us up. Now, one thing I wanted to add to this. Phoenix Suns, I know you're watching. The marketing team's watching. Everybody's watching. Robert Sava, you're probably watching too. An NBA team that takes advantage of their international...
Stop doing that, Robert. Stop it.
An NBA team that takes advantage of international fans that want to be more engaged with their fucking team will clean up. I messaged the fucking Phoenix Suns this week and said, I want to buy a 6-man membership. I'll just buy one. I can't even go to the games, but I'll buy one because I want to have finals tickets available to me when I go over. They told me I can't buy a 6-man membership because I live in Australia.
You need a US residence. I've tried it myself.
Pull your fucking heads in, guys. Whoever buys the 6-man membership, it doesn't matter. It's coin. I'm going to pay the same as whoever fucking buys it in the US. Sell them. We can't buy fucking uniforms. We can't buy singlets. We can't buy fucking gear. And
you got rid of Aaron Baines.
Now we can't buy tickets that we won't utilize, even though we're going to give you the money. The fuck, man. Come on. Phoenix Suns. Someone has to step up here as an NBA side and just go, you know what? Hey, let's create an international membership. Let's create this. There are people that want to support you as a team because we have done for 30 years. Allow us to give you our money.
Hell yes.
Absolutely. It's a next logical step in fan engagement, isn't it? I mean, you see it all through the socials. You should never be knocking back money in the pocket. It's just a no-brainer. And it's it's going to add to the tourism, right? You've got one of those membership. That's kind of a lure to go, hey, why don't we go and use this and try and see a couple of games this year?
And the big thing is, and I know, I know Ash, you're a Bulldogs fucking fan and from Melbourne and all that sort of. I mean, I know you're back for a shit team and whatever else. Trev, where are you from?
I'm Melbourne, mate. Yep.
Who do you back for?
The Saints. That's why my hair's this colour.
Yeah, nice.
Stressful existence.
So you know as well. I know that, and I've done quite a bit of international travel for work. I know I can buy an international membership for my AFL fucking team.
Exactly.
But a global conglomerate of fucking NBA teams that have some fans everywhere in the world, you cannot buy, and I can't buy an American membership, let alone an international membership, which should be able to. Come on, sons, fucking lift.
Sort your shit out.
Things aren't always going to be as good as what they are now, right? So now's the time to show the love. So when the stakes are down, you're thinking, my team needs me. I'm going to chip in some bucks and stick that with them
right now, because there is people jumping on board, and a lot of these people would jump on and pay for fucking memberships.
Yeah. Especially when it's promoted by like the #1 Phoenix Suns podcast in Australia. Now I've just got the notification followed by 2 of Kevin Durant's burner accounts.
There you go. That's how popular we are. Kevin Durant and his burner account. He's on it. So he must be thinking about coming to the Suns to replace Chris Paul. Guys, thank you very much, Trev. You jumped on board late. Appreciate it. You have been absolutely fucking sensational tonight, and we may have to sack Boyd and bring you on full time.
It was, as I said, boys, an absolute pleasure to be here and talk some hoops with you legends. So, appreciate the invite, and hope your ratings don't take too much of a dip after my appearance.
To be honest, I think they're only going to boost because we don't have fucking Boyd's ugly head on here, and nobody said the C word the entire fucking pod. This is magnificent. Ash, thank you very much again. You were another one, jumped on late, supported us. Appreciate it, mate. And your insights are always awesome too.
Thanks very much for having me again, gents. Always a pleasure to be here. And Trev, real great to meet you, bud. And Hamo,
you too, Ash.
Jared,
appreciate it, mate.
You boys, good luck with the walk, gents. I'm going to be rooting for you. And thanks for having me again, Gav.
And Trev, this year, when we do a catch-up during playoffs before I jet off to Arizona for the finals, you have to show up and drink with me and Ash this time. And
consider it done, boys. I can certainly fit that into the schedule. It'd be a pleasure.
Lovely.
Just make sure you move your car before you get a fine out the street.
Yeah, poor Ash.
Give him my shopping list to bring back for me, because saying no one else will import it for him. So.
Best $99. If we got the W though.
We did get the W. I will, as part of that, be creating a list of requirements for people for when we were over there to do some shopping. So I'm sure everyone will jump on board. But Hamo, the platform is yours, mate. Give your walk a plug and tell everyone what it's about and what you need.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much, Ash. This is really awesome, man. So what me and one of our original 8 or 9 that we had, the OGs that started the Phoenix Suns Australia page, or the group. We're taking part in the Great Illawarra Walk this weekend, rain, hail or shine, and it's been pissing down rain, I tell you. So it's a 40-kilometre walk from Shell Harbour to Austinmere. They raise money for various different, foundations and so forth. This year, all the money raised is going towards building a purpose-fit gym for athletes with disabilities in the Illawarra Sports Athlete and Disability Program, which is an amazing cause. There's plenty. We've got a great system up here for our roller hawks, our disabled basketballers from the Illawarra Hawks. You can also sponsor an account for yourself or a program for you to donate money to, and mine's going to go towards the Shake It Up Foundation, which is an Australian foundation into Parkinson's research. Very special to me. My father suffers from this drastically. They work very heavily with the Michael J. Fox Foundation as well in America. So it's a global organisation, and it's just, got to do something. this is something that we just don't know enough about, like many diseases out there. And that's about enough time wasted with that, gentleman. So I'll put some links up on the post. And thank you very much for letting me talk about it.
Love your work, Hamo. Make sure, if you can, try and support. I'm sure Hamo will be happy with anything between $1 and $10,000. Boyd, Nate, because you didn't show up tonight, 10 grand.
Pony up.
10 grand each minimum.
Tuck in a few Euro steps as well on the walk, and we'll double the donation.
Yeah, that's it.
I can do that. I'll be live streaming a lot of this, man. Me and Jay Hunt will be in there.
I hope you're
that'd be great.
going to be wearing sunscreen, mate, because that'll make it even better. Live stream it onto the page. I'm sure everyone will jump over, throw the links on. But,
absolutely, I'll share it.
Actually, the name of the group, guys, is actually Aussie Suns Fans for Shake It Up. I will post the links, but this has got our name all over it. It's not just myself and Jared. We're doing this on behalf of us as a group, as a family, if you want to call it that, just to get out there and give something back.
Love your work.
Great cause,
awesome.
mate. Go well.
And like I said, anywhere from $1 to whatever else, everything's appreciated. Support Hamo and Jared, and I'm sure they will 40 kilometres. I'm pretty sure I've walked 40 kilometres in my life. So that's
probably not.
It ain't going to be fun, man. I'm telling you, but we're going to do it.
James Harden does that at about a 10-week stretch. I think covers 40
Yeah.
Ks. So,
No, he does that in one play. It's 40 Ks just without dribbling. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you for jumping on tonight. It was a really fun show again. I really enjoyed it, particularly with our Boyd. But we will be back next week. We're still trying to get additional special guests. If you haven't checked out the pod from last night, we had So Says Jay, a Suns super fan from the US. Check that one out. He jumped on late and we were able to put something together. Something small, only went for 2 hours. But it was a hell of a conversation. And there's a lot of
Nate would have loved that.
There was a lot of great stuff in there. And like Angelina the week before, just a hell of a lot of really fun stuff in there. And we were able to just throw it together at the last minute. Hopefully we will be able to, we've got targeted another Suns superfan for the next couple of weeks. Probably won't be this week because I think we're almost potted out, but we will have another one very soon. But appreciate everyone listening. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Help us get our message out there. We've started off slow, but we do love everyone jumping on, listening, even if you skip through a lot of the bits. And I know most people, when Boyd starts talking, would skip through, but that's fine. Do that. We support it. And
you never know who's going to show up.
That's it. You never know who will be on our pods every week. And we will see you guys next week after a 4-game stretch. Thanks, lads.
Stay safe, boys.
Card in.
Go Suns.